house and where's everything else before we have
What
marriage?
don't you like about that situation?
First of all, that he wants children. I'm like,
Okay, so let's
That.
break it down. This is a perfect example. Paula and what's his name?
Nick.
Nick.
No,
Are-
it's Nicholas, but Nick.
Okay, come to my office. And she's like, dude, we just met and where's the house? And kids? Oh, hell no, I'm not having kids. This is a perfect thing. How do I apply this, the I and the we, knowing that there are unmet needs to this couple's issue? Because he's like, damn, what woman doesn't want to be loved? What woman doesn't want to be swept off her feet? And she's like, oh, hell no. And she's dying to get out of her mother's house. Here she gets the opportunity.
But that's the thing. I'ma go with him, right? When he's living with his mom. Like, we're both in the same boat. And
Mirrors?
Exactly.
What don't you like about the
The
situation?
fact that he is with his mom.
Okay,
like,
so
show
what
me
is it that you really don't like about this situation? If it's
the
a mirror.
relationship, I guess?
No. Who is the real parasite?
The mom. Me. I don't know.
You. What don't you like about person, place, or thing? That's your inner child. You just said he's like a parasite because he lives with his mom. That means you don't like the fact that you live with your mom and you feel like the parasite living with your mom.
No,
The
right.
issue is with you. The inner child is angry at you because you have not given her her own space.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the other person ever. It is never about the other person. You cannot take it personally. And you read the 4 agreements.
They have 5 agreements now.
Okay,
They
I know
added the
his
5th one.
son has a book that's similar. I don't know how many.
I ordered it. It's the 5
Okay.
agreements.
I can't wait to hear what the 5th is.
For me.
Did you see how I got there?
Yeah.
So do you understand that if you're having an argument with a person, if right now you were my client, and I wouldn't exactly do it that way, but the short version, okay, let's say we have a rapport, let's say you guys have been coming to me for a while, you already know my language, you already know the theory, and you come and go, oh my God, now he wants to get married and have kids and all this stuff, he's acting like a parasite. Dr. Yahia, you said that, you know, this is a parasitic relationship, if he's codependent, he's acting codependent. Let's just say you come into my office and you're ranting and raving. And I'll be like, who's the real parasite? What don't you like about person, place, thing, or situation? Oh, that he's living with his mother. What, am I gonna leave my mother to go live with his mother? Who is really the one angry about living with her mother? It's you. That's first. That's the first way you can apply this. The first practice. You had a comment?
Like, okay, like one of my things was the person is like lazy, unmotivated. That was one of another main problem. I'm not lazy and unmotivated.
Okay, but 0 to 100. That means that you're excessively hardworking. There's no balance.
Okay, so that's where it fits in 0 to 100 then.
It's the 0 to 100, still a mirror.
Okay.
Remember, first rule. That's why I want to tell you the rules. What's the first rule of relationships? Whether it's with yourself or with another person. Everything's a system. How much percent is in a system?
100.
100. How much percent did you work versus your partner?
Like 10 to 90.
10 to 90. Jen, loser.
Yeah.
0 to 100.
I love it.
Okay. Because that's what I'm saying. Like when I was looking, I'm like, I'm not lazy. I'm not unmotivated.
Of course not.
that's
How
why-
dare you be? That's an issue that you have. So if you were to stay with this person, what you would need to do, and it might not go to 50-50. Let's get real. He's not going to go from 10 to 50
Not just
in a
go crazy.
minute. Hell, you first start 80-20, then 70-30, and you slowly start shifting until it's a 50-50. That means who needs to change? You do. You do. It's always about you. Always. She will not have it.
No, I can't.
She can't. She
Like-
just can't. She
like-
says, no, where do you have Leo? Or where do you have your black moon? Black moon and Sag. Okay, I have that. That's not, but where do you have Leo? And the 9th. Okay, that's not a major. Well, your sun in the 2nd. Okay, you. And it's Capricorn. I just realized. Right?
Yeah.
Capricorn, I forgot. Yeah. Capricorn has to be on
Translation.
top.
Translation. Like you just did it all in your mind. I need to
Capricorn
understand.
is always going to the
Yep.
top.
Mhm.
It has to be. So you can't rest, so to speak. So it's like you can't, you're gonna doubt it and question it, and that's okay. That's exactly what school's about. And Black Moon is where we prostitute ourselves, but Black Moon is also where we won't, I was sharing this myth the other day, and she was the first wife
In
of,
Sagittarius, you said, right?
in Sagittarius is finding the truth. So what you're doing is you're questioning, because that's what the Black Moon does. The Black Moon is an aspect of ourselves that we won't let get dominated. And Sagittarius is higher education. It's philosophy. So you're like, no, I need to understand it. I need to integrate what you're saying, and I don't believe you, and you don't need to believe me. You need to get to the point that you understand it. Until you do, you're not going to believe it. That's okay. That's exactly who you're supposed to be. So that's not bad. On the contrary, it's good. Black Moon and Sag is one of the best placements. I have that too. You're questioning and questioning and questioning. Why should you take everything at face value? You're in higher education. You're not supposed to. It's like if you have a client, she says, my husband beats me. How do you know that's true? Isn't part of your job to investigate and question and science and ask the things to see if the stories align? Did you guys take test evaluation or evaluation of tests, the class?
So like after research, the information.
Yeah, okay, so one of the classes in the curriculum, especially online, I think they offer more often than we do on the ground, is evaluation of tests. And what these tests have are scales. And one of the scales that these tests have is a lying scale. If you've ever taken these tests, they ask the same question in 100 different ways, because they want to see if you're lying. Part of our job is to find holes in the story where the client, the subconscious, this is a super important concept. Your client has a story. Every story has holes in it. The subconscious will fill in the holes. So I went down to a really bad area of town, and I parked my car, and I went to go get my shoes fixed because I heard that there was a really great cobbler there. I get back, and my car's broken into. What happened? I'm telling you, what?
You went into that.
Who
area.
broke into my car?
You went to the.
My car was broken into, my computer was missing. What happened?
Well, all I know is that you went to go fix your shoes in a really bad area, and then when you came out, you saw your car got broken into and your computer's missing. That's all I got from the story.
Okay, but
If your story has holes, there's a piece missing.
there's inference. I gave you the context clue that it was a bad neighborhood and my computer was missing. What if I left my computer on my desk and I never had my computer? I always leave my car unlocked so it couldn't have gotten broken into. I didn't tell you that the lock was broken, the window. You made a picture in your head of what the car looked like when I got back from the cobbler. Right? Every single one of you had a picture in your head of what it is. I never locked my car. I absolutely did yesterday leave my laptop on my desk, but let me just say that even if they did take it, you might have already had an image if it was male or female, if the person was black or white. You did it. You filled in the gaps. Your subconscious fills in the gaps. Your client comes with a story with holes. You, like the test, needs to have a lie detector scale to see what really happened. Did her husband really beat her? Maybe he did. I'm not saying that she's lying, but we have to find out. Yes.
when you say your car was broken, and I said it was a piece missing, I actually didn't think of broken glass. Why?
No,
Because
no.
I keep my door unlocked, and I was like, maybe they just checked the doors.
Okay, but you used a reference point.
Yeah.
You used a reference. How many of you went back to a time where your car was broken into? How many of you went to Overtown or a bad neighborhood near your area?
I wasn't there. I was from
The subconscious fills in holes and stories and makes the whole story.
I still leave my door unlocked. I was ready.
Me too. Me too. I leave my house door unlocked. The other day, yeah, I don't lock my house door. I don't know if I have to in Texas, but I don't know.
People are
The
nuts.
other day, my daughter's best friend comes over and he knows the door is locked. Every single person knows my door is unlocked. And he knocks. And I was annoyed because I was on the couch and I didn't want to get up. I was like, come in, and he didn't hear. And I get up and I'm like, Louis, you know the door is unlocked. Why don't you just walk in? So there's fill in the gaps. And so as a client, the client's gonna give you a story. You're gonna conjure up stuff from your own history or from something you read. That's why when they do witnesses, it's so hard to have a witness testimony. Because what part are they getting from a movie that they saw? What part are they getting from their childhood? What part are they really getting from the story? What part are they using from the person that mugged them and they're telling about a mugging that they observed? The subconscious fills in those gaps. Our job is to detect where there's a hole in the story, not because we're going, ha ha, you lied to me. No, so that we can dismantle the story. What part of the brain fills in the blanks with the story?
The neocortex, right? No?
The limbic. It's all emotion-based. She doesn't lock her car. She thought maybe I didn't lock my car. You went to Overtown for whatever reason. She already had the picture of the thief. She saw glass.
I thought you were the thief. I thought you grabbed your, yeah, because I seen the lock like that. So I was like, oh, somebody probably
Listen to what
jammed
she
the
said
thing.
though. You see why it's not personal? She just started talking about Nick being a parasite. We discovered she's the parasite. Isn't she the thief because she's leeching off her mother? Do you see it has nothing to do with me?
No, it's true.
Nothing.
Jen, don't worry, I know it.
I didn't say it.
For the
It's
time
all about you. And if the subconscious is filling in the gaps, and the emotion is what's answering and firing off, how do you think that the two people in my office are responding to their situation?
All emotionally then.
All emotionally. And it's gonna come back to their inner child. It's gonna go back to their unmet need because he didn't buy her a new outfit. And her moon, and her fifth house cusp, we haven't gotten to the moon yet, the fifth house cusp is in Taurus and wants things, wants senses, wants tactile. You want impulse, you want fast. You might be the type of person that texts someone, if they leave you on red for half a fucking second, you're like, what the fuck?
Might be.
Might be.
Might be, just a little. Because somewhere your unmet need from childhood where you didn't have a response fast enough or you live in fight or flight and you needed to leave in the middle of the night to hide from your dad or whatever you see,
Yeah.
I've already conjured up that it was in the middle of the night or mother put her in a cloak and you see. And so you're responding, the Aries is fight or flight.
Oh, okay.
So we're responding from that survival. That's why we impulse, because the thing is going to be taken from us. The food is going to be taken from us. The shelter is going to be taken from us so fast that I don't have the luxury of spending an hour to buy an olive oil bottle like Miss Rapace. I have to hit that buy so fast because they're in the corner telling me 20 people are looking at this hotel room right now and I went, purchase! So they fuck with me. Today, I was listening to NPR on the way here, and I already bought 2 Christmas gifts because of this article. I was driving on 145th. I kept going round in circles because I couldn't find Kaiser. I passed by Southern Spirits or the wine place. I passed by the other hotel, and I'm like, where's the hotel? It's a Courtyard. It's a Courtyard. No, it's a Fairfield Inn. I work here. I go there every day. But I was like, I have to purchase this before someone buys it, because they just did the thing on NPR, and I'm thinking that 5,000 people are listening to the article and are on Amazon buying it too. And you know what? Check this out. So I did meet my needs today. I didn't violate my need. Why? I saw at Best Buy, the same exact thing was at $99. And I was, thanks to my inner child, I was like, well, I don't have a Best Buy account. I need to just buy Prime, click. So I Googled Amazon and the name of the CD, $43. So because of that info, I got lucky. But if not, I would have paid the $99 and I would have never gone like this for 100 hours looking for the Alibaba. Because my inner child's like, I'm going to be taken. Something's going to be taken from me. That's very common in children that are the last child, because they get the hand-me-downs and they have to fight for the food, like those families that have a lot of kids. I never had to fight for food. I got hand-me-downs, and I never had that sort of thing that we were lacking. We had way much abundance in my family, but something must have been taken from me. It probably was just the fact that my mom gave me to this woman, you know, the fact that my mom was taken, so to speak, let's say. So that's part of that. It's that fight or flight. I remember years ago, I was going to this NPR event, and I heard that the tickets were going on sale. And I was the first one to buy the ticket. It was March. The event wasn't until November. My ticket was there for 7 months on my bulletin board. And then the night of, I almost didn't go. But I had to grab it. I had to get the piece of whatever, the reptilian brain. Remember, sex, breath, food, basic needs. So me and Jennifer and I, have basic needs that were not met. She needs senses. She needs to smell good things. She needs to taste. She needs to touch. Making love to her has to be a fucking ordeal. Yeah, we're talking about you. Because they have to enamor her through the senses. Her child needs to be, her mother probably fed her and held her all the time and was caught. Or maybe she had 20 aunts and uncles and cousins and everyone was passing her from arm to arm. There's something of touch. So either she got too much of it or she didn't get enough of it. Either we were shoved, here, eat fast, 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 like my mom, I gotta go to school, hurry up and eat on Tuesday nights, or there wasn't enough. You see the 0 to 100, it's the same side of the different side of the same coin. So when you have your clients come, so we'll pick on Paola and Nick, it has nothing to do with the fact that Nick lives with his mom and she's not. But now the child, he wants a kid. And you're saying that he's codependent or parasitic, and you're like, I don't want a kid. I already have a kid, maybe. That's your thing. I don't know what your thing is. What is going on with her inner child there? What archetype is she? We've talked about this.
She's the rebel.
She's the rebel. Is a man, Lilith, in her black moon in her 5th house, we covered that Tuesday, where she's on top all the time, gonna tell her when she's gonna have a kid? Oh, hell to the no. Tomorrow she might wake up and say, oh, Nick, baby, I want a baby. But it's her decision. So we see her archetype of rebel there. We see her black moon prostitute there. She's living out the myth. It's got to be about her, and she's deciding. So somewhere, her inner child, if we track it back, somewhere yesterday or this week or whenever they had this argument or whenever she told him, oh no, she violated her needs. And she succumbed to someone asking her to do something that she didn't want to do. Probably her mom. So this is how we could use this in practice, where we can have our clients track. If you know their inner child or you know their unmet need and the goal is to teach them, when they pick fights with their partner, go, wait a minute. I have an unmet need. I'm speaking to you from my inner child that's wounded from the second step. I don't like you being a parasite because I really feel like a parasite. I want to call my own shots. Parasites are not rebels. Parasites are not calling the shots. Parasites are not the black moon making decisions. They're taking what they could get, and her host is a pretty shitty host. All she gets is Bible verses. She hasn't had sex in forever, she told us.
Hell yeah, for like 6-7 months now.
So we show up in our relationship from the limbic system, speaking, filling in the gaps. Your husband comes home, he's 5 minutes late, I'm talking about myself, late to dinner. Oh my God, I used to lose it. I used to lose it. Why are you late? Da, 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 da. Well, of course I would lose it. Because if something was taken from me, I have an abandonment problem. Well, it turned out that he did it right. I created that he left me. I proved myself right. So why aren't you on time? Why wasn't the traffic perfect? I wasn't a where were you kind of woman, but why are you late? Or why didn't you leave on time? Or why didn't you tell your boss? That was what I would do. Why didn't you tell your boss? My wife is waiting for me. Well, why wasn't I more understanding that you have a job and you're moving up the corporate ladder because you're in your 20s? It's me. It's about us. I was the one scared that he wasn't going to come through the door. And then one day he didn't. So I proved that true, and there was a reason I had to prove that true. And if it's about Tuesday, then it was just the law of vibration, and it had to end because there's something different for me. And I created that also. That thread mate was no longer a valid thread mate. So when we can educate the client that we're speaking from our own unmet need, they can stop doing this, and they can start doing this. That's the idea of the homework of taking the paper. Are we fighting about shared values? If we're not fighting about shared values, we can worry about it, but it's just a fight. It's just ego. If we're fighting about shared values, there's a fucking problem. And get to therapy if you want to salvage your relationship. Or not, it might not be salvageable. Because if the values have already shattered, then you're screwed. Or you're happy, or whatever. But if you're just arguing about ego-based things, then what you're arguing is from your inner child to that. You're on the playground, and one of you is throwing sand in the other one's face. That's it. That's it. You're just having a temper tantrum. And I guarantee you that if you track your unmet need to later in the week, you probably didn't stand up to your boss, you let your kids step all over you, you spent too much money on a lunch that you shouldn't have because you said you weren't going to. That was my unmet need this earlier in the week. I did it to myself. But when we are in a partnership or a relationship with our children or a relationship with our colleagues, we blame them and we fight with them. People are never fighting with you. It's not at you. It's not about you. It's about them, their unmet need, and somewhere that they violated their unmet need earlier in the day or the week or the month or their lifetime. That's it. Does that make sense? Any questions on this? What time is it? Oh, we have plenty.
10:40.
Okay. So, let me take a picture of this and then we'll move on to a few other things. You want to stop that for a second?